Have you ever seen those videos online when the girl sets up the camera in a perfect angle and then she delivers the news to her boyfriend that she's pregnant? Most of the time the guy's responses are funny, joyful and glorious, and at the end of that 30-second shot everyone is happy? Well, sometimes in real life that's not the case. Welcome back everyone to Modern Dad Manual. Today's episode I will share with you how I reacted when reality hit me hard in the face because I didn't see it coming that I will become a dad in a pretty short period of time. At the end of this episode, you will have a better understanding how else you could react when it's not a complete setup. Let's jump right in. In 2017, me and my wife, we were living in London and we were renting a room in a house with maybe 6 other people. And we had a plan. We had our schedule that hopefully maybe in a year or two we will become parents. Years and years before that, the doctor said to my wife that she basically has a 50-50% chance to get pregnant because she had some underlying health conditions and surgeries back in the days. After we came back from our honeymoon, she didn't feel well. She got a fever. She had a gut feeling that there might be some bun in the oven. She did a test and then dropped me the news. I remember the exact feeling what I had and the whole vibe of the room when she handed over to me the test. It was positive. The only thing that we could think of was one word: damn, because we didn't see it coming. I got shocked. Do you remember what I told you in the first episode, that one thing you really don't want to do when you get the news from your wife that you will become a dad is not to panic? I'm not saying I did panic because, this is what I wanted. I knew that I wanted to become a dad. I went completely radio silence for 2 days. And that's probably not what you want to do when, with the love of your life, you just had this amazing news that both of you will become parents soon. I was in solitude for like 2 days and I just had to buckle up and have this conversation with my wife. And I will tell you in a second why I had that 2 days off the grid mentality. Basically, in my head, the schedule was, we have probably 1 or 2 years minimum. So what I need to do to be able to provide for my family is take everybody home, because that was the plan, that we will come back home to Hungary, find a new place where we can live, find a decent job with okay-ish money, so we will have some savings. And that was completely thrown out of the window in a blink of an eye. I'm a guy who likes predicting stuff and planning ahead and then act accordingly. So you can imagine how I felt when all of the beautiful plan was just out of the window. There is no perfect timing. Although in my head, I really wanted to create this perfect scenario when we come back home, we settle down, we do the renovation if it's necessary. I got a job, I settle in, we have some savings, and then the baby can come. So when I got the news from my wife, I had all these spinning ideas, this whirlwind in my head that, okay, so now what? I don't have anything on that to-do list checked. We still need to come back home with all of our belongings. We need to find a property where we can live. I need to find a decent job. So yeah, you could say that I got panicky a tiny little bit, because to do all this I had less than 10 months. And that is a scary feeling to have. So it was not even close that you can see on social media that, yeah, the guy starts jumping in the middle of the kitchen because he will have a boy. I mean, nothing wrong with that, but what I'm trying to say is it is inevitable that you could find out these awesome news in a completely different way when it's not a setup. Because if you're settled, if you have everything that you can dream of, and then you have your firstborn child, it's a different feeling, it's a different scenario. Or maybe you've been trying to get a baby or have a baby for years. Again, that's different. What I wanted to tell you is there are other ways to find out these marvelous news. Anyway, I know you're that curious what happened after I got these news and had a conversation with my wife, so I'm gonna tell you. Spoiler alert, everything was just fine. We had to work hard with my wife, really hard to pull it off on time. But eventually I got a job, a fairly okay-ish one at Budapest, and we also found a flat which we had to renovate massively, but we managed to do it with some family and friends, so kudos to all of those guys. And then it was time. Fast forward today, we moved several times, we have 2 healthy daughters, and I'm still learning how to do this job properly. That's why this podcast. That's why I'm sharing you my feelings, my experiences, and that's why I want to hear your stories, your comments, your feelings. How did you react when she drops you the big news? You know, what was going on in your head? Share those moments, share those thoughts down in the comment section. That would be much appreciated, so we can build this community, spread the news, spread the experiences that we had in probably hundreds, if not thousands, different ways. Thank you very much for tuning in, and see you in the next one. Take care.